Round 13 obstacles. And all in now, as who can tell, has gone up and they're off. Jumped okay, Zeddy Doo to Deco. Just taken a hold of, though, who can tell? Grandest Cocky Melons, Mr. Enthusiastic, all in a line going towards the first, and a sight to it now. Up and over they go. Eddie Gilbert's over it okay, just dipped a little on land, and he's fine, though. And Spit Hill is 2 lengths back behind those runners. So heading down to the second on the journey here, and it is Zeddy Doo to Deco taking the front from who can tell. Mr. Enthusiastic's going to take a position just in behind them now, and then Eddie Gilbert 2 lengths away. To the third down the back, leaders go over it okay. Grandest Cocky Melons is 4th. It was a better jump than the previous for it, and Spit Hill's only a length and a half behind those. So it is Tony Moki and who can tell who's getting to the lead now from Mr. Enthusiastic. Buddy Lammer's pretty keen to get Zeddy Doo to Deco a bit of cover, and he's keen, the horse. Then 3/4 the inside is Eddie Gilbert, 2 lengths to Grandest Cocky Melons. And then the last of them is Spit Hill as they come across the top, and we go up until they come to the next chase fence, and Mr. Enthusiastic's gone through to lead now from who can tell. Third, Zeddy Doo to Deco. He's still under a big grip there, and then we've got Eddie Gilbert, Sean Fannin just clearing the goggles, Grandest Cocky Melons behind that, and Spit Hill. So they sight up to the one at about the 300 metres in the stretch here, and here it is, Mr. Enthusiastic, and he took it enthusiastically as well. From who can tell and Zeddy Doo to Deco, Eddie Gilbert, Grandest Cocky Melons and Spit Hill. So the 6 runners, and not that much top to bottom to the one in front of the stands now. They give a pretty good sight here. Up and over they go, and Mr. Enthusiastic from who can tell, who's right there with it on the inside. And then we have Zeddy Doo to Deco as circuit to go. The inside is Eddie Gilbert from Grandest Cocky Melons and Spit Hill. They're all on a nice rein, as you'd want them to be, though, with the circuit to make, and they're about to head out into the country here, and they have 3 chase fences to get over here, and Mr. Enthusiastic scouting wide on the course is the leader. From who can tell and Eddie Gilbert as they come to this one here, and right with them Zeddy Doo to Deco. Grandest Cocky Melons 2 lengths away, and Spit Hill is about a length and a half back behind that to the second out in the country now. And here it is, Eddie Gilbert going through to join Mr. Enthusiastic, and who can tell's right with those. About 3 lengths away then to the next is your hot favourite, which is Zeddy Doo to Deco. His first chase today. He's a wonderful hurdler, as we know, with a great record. And then Grandest Cocky Melons to the one that brings them back onto the course proper, and Spit Hill is the last. So they put a circuit behind them here, and Mr. Enthusiastic looking for more work. Comes to the first of 3 down the back, and he just got in a little bit close there. Who can tell's going to level with it again. Then we have the next Zeddy Doo to Deco, who's around Eddie Gilbert as they sight down to the second down the back now, just trying to get their stride and do it okay. They all stand, then Grandest Cocky Melons and Spit Hill. So they race to the third down the back of the track, and here who can tell on the inside of Mr. Enthusiastic. They take it by about 5 lengths then from Zeddy Doo to Deco, and on the inside of it is Eddie Gilbert. Wasn't a great jump by the fave there, but he's okay. And further away, Grandest Cocky Melons and Spit Hill. So they've got still a big gallop with 2 to clear, and still about 700 metres to go. And who can tell's the leader now from Mr. Enthusiastic, Eddie Gilbert. And then we have Zeddy Doo to Deco. He's put him under the pump here, buddy. He's pulled the persuader on him as they go by the 600 metres. He just lost contact with the leading 3 here by about 3 lengths. And further back then, Grandest Cocky Melons and Spit Hill. So they've got 2 to clear, and Eddie Gilbert hunting through for Sean Fannin on the inside of who can tell. Over on the outside, the stablemate for Tony Mulkey, and they come to the second to last together. Who can tell over it better? There'll be no Zeddy Doo to Deco here. So it is who can tell. On the inside, Eddie Gilbert, Mr. Enthusiastic, Tony Mulkey looking for a winner here with who can tell, and got over it okay. Set sail for the judge now, and who can tell from Eddie Gilbert, Mr. Enthusiastic, raising another effort. But well done, Tony Mulkey, back in the winner's circle, and did it well with who can tell. I couldn't tell you who was really second here. It's close. Eddie Gilbert and Mr. Enthusiastic, Zeddy Doo to Deco, Spit Hill, and Grandest Cocky Melons. Wonderful here, 37.87.30. Kevin Myers, Tony Mulkey back in the winner's circle here, and she rode it really, really well here, Bevan.
She did indeed to T. Lee, and Might have been 40 on the tote, but I'm not sure it was a $40 price at the 1,000 metre mark. It'd be lovely to be able to bet at that point in a staying race, because the horse travelled pretty kindly under Tony. Found a good kick, measured its fences beautifully, well handled by Tony, and too good at a big price. Who can tell? The gelding by Saki's Secret out of Mintel for Mrs. Anne Brown in the estate of the late K.S. Brown. Well done to you, MBE, of course. That is win 2 at start number 30. So it's been a pretty patient sort of training performance from both Anne and Kevin here in the Central Districts to get a result like this, taking out the maiden steeplechase over the 200 metres. Eddie Gilbert's tracked up nicely. He's got a nice race. The 2, Mr. Enthusiastic, has flashed home out wide, and Zeddy Dudadika was never in it from about the 1,200 metre mark. He was battling away in these track conditions. So the 3 will score to get us underway with a big price. The 1, Eddie Gilbert second, the 2, Mr. Enthusiastic third, and the 7, Zeddy Dudadika will run fourth. But lovely to see Tony back in the winner's circle. We haven't seen her around often over a long period of time, but she was back in the saddle over the last couple of weeks. We'll just grab a result and then be back out to speak to Tony. Price was a big one at $38. 37 in fact, 37.87, 32.10 no third divvy, 36.10 the Quinella, 340.20 the trifecta, and 3127 at $662.80. Tony Moki gets a lovely result here in the brown colours, who have won so many jumping races across New Zealand over such a long period of time, trained by Kevin Myers, and he will run the Quinella here in the first on the program. But we'll catch up with Tony. A big congratulations to you. Look, this horse just travelled beautifully throughout the race, really.
Yeah, he did. It was really lovely. Really nice jumper.
Okay, well, that was the most notable thing coming into the home straight, where he got tough. He measured the fences best.
He did. He saw his stride, and I sort of left it to him, and he just figured it out really well.
Okay, it looks pretty bottomless out there. It's pretty tough testing ground.
It is, but he liked it, so it suited him.
Okay, it's great to see you back at the races.
Oh, love it. It's wicked.
Okay, well done, Tony.
Thank you.
Tony Moki gets a lovely result here at Jace with Who Can Tell. Well, we hope that's not the process for the day with $40 shots, but someone will get $1 each way on a horse who picks up win 2 at start number 30.